Runnin Rebels of UNLV, the number 5 seed. They'll go up against the number 12 seed out of the Pac-12, Mike Montgomery's California Golden Bears.
And hello, Rebel fans, and welcome to the special UNLV Game Time Tournament Selection Show. Along with Anthony Marshall, I'm Chris Matthews as we talk basketball now for the next 30 minutes. And Anthony, I'll tell you what, when I saw UNLV and then Cal, I was somewhat surprised. How about you?
Yeah, definitely surprised. You know, I didn't think we would see a team that we already faced again. You know, anytime you get to the NCAA tournament, it's more likely that you'll play a new team. So when we seen Cal come across the board, I think everybody on the team was pretty surprised.
And when you think back to the earlier game with Cal, it came down to the last second. It was a tip in by Quintrell that you guys won it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it was early in the season. You know, two teams trying to find their identity and stuff. We wasn't at full strength. You know, I think they had a couple guys hurt. And like you said, it was a game that came down to a wire, two teams battling. You know, I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be, you know, the second time around.
And a lot of teams aren't playing basketball right now. UNLV certainly is. And just how great is that you're still playing ball?
It's very great. You know, it's an honor and a blessing to be mentioned with the final teams, you know, around the country at this time, you know, of the season. And it's just a dedication, a tribute to our hard work, you know, our coaching staff helping us get here.
What memories do you have from this game with Cal from early in the season? Of course, the Mountain West tournament also was exciting, but when you think back to that Cal game, any special memories come out besides Quintrell's tip-in?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we had one of our great players, Mike, go down, you know, and to have him back at full strength now is a luxury to our team. You know, he allows us to cause matchup problems and do a lot of different things. And, you know, it was also a game that we didn't have Kim Birch on our team yet, so now we have him back, and it allows us to have more of an inside presence than we had in the previous game. So it's a lot of things that, you know, that's going to be different this time around.
Now, we just saw highlights a moment ago of the Mountain West Conference tournament. That was certainly exciting. Unfortunately, the Rebels lost to the Lobos in the Mountain West Championship, but what can you take away from that you can build upon?
We had a lot of mental lapses on the defense, and, you know, I felt like we really didn't defend like we wanted to the previous couple games, and for us to be the team that we're trying to be, you know, be one of those last couple teams standing, we can't allow that at this point in the season. So it's going to take a collective effort, and, you know, us paying attention to detail to get a win.
All right, so UNLV got to the championship of that Mountain West tournament. Now let's get a recap of UNLV's run to the title championship game. Here is Scott Bemis with our game report.
The Las Vegas desert transforming into an oasis for basketball this past week, and it started with the third-seeded Rebs opening with the 6th-seed Air Force on Wednesday. Less than 2 minutes in, the whole dynamic of the game changes as Bryce DeJohn Jones collides with Michael Lyons. Jones scores the basket, but Lyons, the conference's leading scorer, would have to leave with a knee injury and would not return.
He's a great, terrific player, and it's an unfortunate situation, but I mean, just got to play on.
Without their star, the Falcons had trouble scoring, taking 13 minutes to reach double figures. And defensively, they had no answer for Anthony Bennett. The freshman scores an efficient 23, making 10 of his 14 shots. Jones adds 12. Anthony Marshall pinches in 11 as the Rebs shoot 51% from the field and cruise over the Falcons 72-56.
I feel real good, you know, just practicing hard for the last couple days. You know, everything that we put in defensively and offensively will work.
When AB's playing like that, we think we can do whatever we want, you know. I honestly think he's one of the best players in the nation. You know, when he plays like that, everyone just gets that much more confidence.
2 nights later, second-seeded Colorado State was waiting for the Rebs in the semis. The Rams' outstanding guard, Dorian Green, would play, but was limited, only 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Big play here. Anthony Marshall gets the drive and the foul. Rams coach Larry Eustace doesn't like the call, gets teed up. Marshall and Reinhardt then combine to make 3 free throws. It's 21-14 Rebels after the 5-point possession. Then Bennett finds the zone, hitting threes on 3 straight possessions.
Anthony Bennett feeling it. When you have a guy like Anthony Bennett on your roster who's as good as he is, you got a chance to be good.
Bennett finished with 19, and the Rebs' other high-profile freshman, Caton Reinhardt, also producing a career-high 21 for the game, including 16 in the first half.
You know, I struggled last game, but they just say, you know, pick your head up, you're going to play great next game, and just having the faith in everybody on this team and just encouraging me every game, every practice.
Rams would get as close as 1 in the second half, but the Rebs pull away late, advancing to the championship game with a 75-65 win. And waiting for the Rebs in that title game was top-seeded New Mexico. In front of a sold-out electric crowd at the MAC, Bennett comes out on fire, scoring the first 11 for his team, but made only 1 bucket the rest of the way.
That's a real disappointing, you know, day for me. I just got to bounce back. That's what winners do,
Second half, some hot Bryce to John Jones shooting briefly ties things at 44, but that's when Tony Snell heats up for the Lobos, scoring 10 straight to extend the lead to 9. Revs make one final push with under 3 to go and have a chance to tie, but the Reinhardt 3 is off, and Snell answers with a dagger at the other end, 3 of his game-high 21. Revs shoot less than 34% as the Lobos win their second straight Mountain West tourney title, 63-56.
Very disappointed in the loss, me knowing that, this is the last time I have an opportunity like this.
I did a great job on defense, and like I said, the shots we usually make just weren't falling tonight.
Scott Bemis for UNLV Game Time.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. We appreciate that. Of course, Rebels lose to New Mexico in that championship game. Anthony, let me just ask you quickly now. You're the local guy who grew up here, who played here at UNLV. What has it meant to you to be a Runnin Rebel and a Las Vegan?
It's meant everything. Growing up, I always knew in the back of my mind I wanted to be a Runnin Rebel. I thought this would be an opportunity for me to come here, try to help a program get back to its glory days and stuff like that, and to see everything coming, and evolve. It means a lot to me, and it's a humbling experience.
Well, good luck in the NCAA tournament. You guys are getting set for Cal, the Golden Bears. You excited?
Yes, sir. I'm very excited. Anytime you can make it to the next postseason at this point is very honorable.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. So there's Anthony Marshall. Hey, still to come on UNLV Game Time. We're going to take a closer look at UNLV's run into the NCAA tournament. Rebels are dancing. We'll get some thoughts from head coach Dave Rice on their first round opponent. Plus, how many Mountain West teams in the nation's #1 conference are going to the big dance? We'll show you next here on UNLV Game Time.
The Runnin' Rebels of UNLV, the #5 seed. They'll go up against the #12 seed out of the Pac-12, Mike Montgomery's California Golden Bears.
All right, welcome back to the show. So a rematch, UNLV and the California Golden Bears are going to play in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Joining me now is head coach Dave Rice. And coach, when you looked up there and you saw UNLV as a 5th seed, and then all of a sudden Cal, they try to avoid rematches, but you got a rematch.
Well, we have tremendous respect for Cal. They're a terrific team. They played fabulous basketball in Pac-12 conference play. They have a Hall of Fame coach, NBA player in Alan Crabb. Justin Cobbs is a terrific point guard, combo type guard. Richard Solomon, Tyrone Wallace. I can go over the whole roster. We've played them last year, played them this year, and so we know we have our hands full in San Jose on Thursday.
What would be the advantage as you head into the NCAA tournament, having already played a team like that?
Well, certainly both staffs will be familiar with the things that we do, but at the same time, we also know the challenge that'll be playing against them. They're a terrific jump shooting team, but they've also got a very good low post game. Solomon's very, very good. Thurman plays well for them. They're just a balanced team that's extremely well coached.
Let's do that. And the last time UNLV played the Bears, it went right down to the final second. I mean, it was so thrilling.
Well, it was a tremendous college basketball game, and we just made one more play than they did. They certainly could have easily won that game. And we just, again, have so much respect for their program and their team, how hard they play. And I had a chance to watch them a number of times in conference play. I love how Coach Montgomery coaches. He's been a mentor to me, always been good to me, and I just have so much respect for their program.
Let me ask you now about the Mountain West Conference. As this concluded, you guys take away the Fresno game, you guys are playing some solid basketball right now, so it's a good time to be rolling into the NCAA tournament.
Well, going into yesterday, we had won 8 games out of 9. A number of those games had been against ranked teams. We had played extremely well on the road and played well in the first 2 games of the conference tournament, played very well against a good Air Force team, and then we had the great game against Colorado State, another good team, and then just came up a few plays short yesterday against New Mexico, and that's a credit to New Mexico and how well they played. But we are playing good basketball. We're balanced. We've got our whole team, and we're just excited about the opportunity that we have.
Let me ask you, yesterday in that, when the team came out on the court, and all of a sudden, you're in the black uniforms, and then you have the hoodies, like you guys are boxers, like fighters ready to go to a fight.
Well, give a lot of that credit to Nike. I saw a number of games earlier today, and Miami had a similar pregame shooting shirt that they use. But again, just something for our guys in terms of solidarity, and we're a group that's worked extremely hard this year, and we've had some adversity at various times, whether it was injuries or tough games, but we've always managed to bounce back and practice hard and get ready for our next game, and that's what we need to do in this case, and we know the challenge it'll be Thursday in San Jose.
And you win 2 games in the Mountain West Conference tournament. You beat Air Force, you beat Colorado State. Colorado State, a very good team, but then you face New Mexico. So how does all that help you going into the tournament?
Well, because it's the same thing as the NCAA tournament. It's survive and advance, because at this time of the year, it's a 1-game season. If we're not successful, then we look back and say, hey, good season, but it's over. And so it's just so important that we understand every possession, every half, every possession in practice is critically important for us to continue to get better. We're a long way from being where we can be, and we understand the progress we've made. We're building a program here, and we know how much hard work there is. So we'll get back to practice tomorrow and get ready to go against a very, very good Cal team.
I wanted to ask you before we say goodbye to you for a few moments. We'll have you back at the end of the show and talk about the rest of the Mountain West. But what has Anthony Marshall meant to? I know you've been with him for 2 of the 4 years. What has he meant to not only the basketball program but to the city itself?
Well, he went from being an all-conference shooting guard last year to being an all-conference point guard this year. He's helped us win 25 games. He's helped us have a lot of success. Just can't say enough about his attitude and his transformation from being a slashing shooting guard to being our leader as a point guard. And anytime you've got a player from Las Vegas, he becomes just inherently the face of the program. And along with Justin Hawkins, he's one of 2 players to go to 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments for the first time since 1991. Justin Hawkins and Anthony Marshall have done that. Stacey Augmon and Chris Jeter, you got to go back all the way to 1991 since that's happened. So I think that shows the progress that our program is making, and a lot of that obviously started with Coach Spoonhour and then with Coach Kruger.
All right, sounds good. We'll have you back in just a little bit talking about the rest of the Mountain West, because some nice respect here from the Mountain West. We're going to take a break. Much more on this special game time edition of UNLV. Another couple of seniors who are getting set to take on the Cal Bears. We'll visit with them. Justin Hawkins and Quintrell Thomas. We'll get some thoughts from those guys on the tournament. Plus, on the Mountain West seeds and where they're heading, where they're going. It's going to be exciting. We'll tell you about New Mexico, the Mountain West champs. We'll discuss it all next here on UNLV Game Time.
The Mountain West regular season champions are the Mountain West tournament champions. The New Mexico Lobos have a date as a high seed at the Big Dance.
All right, and welcome back to the Mendenhall Center. This is a special edition of UNLV Game Time. We're talking about the UNLV Rebels heading into the NCAA tournament, taking on the California Golden Bears. Now, joining me are the other 2 seniors on the team. Here is Justin Hawkins and Quintrell Thomas. I appreciate you guys for joining me. And just let me first of all ask you, when you're up there watching this selection show, and for 3 other years you've seen UNLV's name be called, and now a 4th, you got to be pretty proud.
Definitely proud. You know, it's a great accomplishment, you know, making it 4 years in a row. But right now we're just focused on 1 game at a time, and that happens to be Cal.
Which is it's so odd because it seems like they never put rematches together. Now you got Cal. Just talk a few thoughts on that.
I think it's pretty good. You know, have a little bit of familiarity, you know, with Cal. You know, having them, you know, seeing them a lot, especially right now in the Pac-12. You know, I got to see him play against Utah, you know, and I feel like Coach Stafford, you know, really get us prepared.
Now, what about the Mountain West tournament? A few thoughts on the recently concluded tournament?
Tournament was well, you know, it was really competitive all 4 days, you know. I know we, you know, really didn't do what we were supposed to do. You know, we lost to Mexico. They were a really good team, but we can't really dwell on that.
Now, I mean, a lot of teams aren't playing, but the Rebels are still playing, and that's got to be just so exciting.
Oh, definitely. You know, we just want to keep playing, you know, our best basketball. I feel like that's still ahead of us, and you know, we're going to get back to work tomorrow.
All right, one thing I remember from that game with Cal was Quintrell Thomas's tipping at the very end of the game.
Definitely. That just shows how much Q is just involved in the game in all aspects. You know he's going to rebound, and the fact that he had the awareness to get the ball back up on the hoop and make the layup was great.
All right, so hey, thanks for being here. Speaking of Q, he now joins us, Quintrell, and talk a little bit about that game, because you weren't really thinking about it, you said, but all of a sudden you saw Cal and everybody's asking about that final shot.
Yeah, I mean, during the course of the season, you remember like what's recent, so it's like, I mean, I'm definitely excited to go out and play this team again.
Now, what about when you looked up there and you saw UNLV as a 5th seed and you see Cal come up? What were a few of your initial thoughts?
Well, my initial thoughts were we're a 5 seed, and that was really exciting. It shows like how much respect they have for our conference. But then playing Cal, it was exciting because I think one of the problems we've had in the past is not being familiar with the team. So coming out and playing against a team that we already know should get the ball rolling a little bit.
In your opinion, do you think this team can make some noise in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I definitely think we're a team put together to make a run. I mean, we've had a few lapses in the past, and I definitely think everything we've done can be corrected.
How great has it been if you had to cap the season now as you move into the tournament? Just talk about the whole season as a whole.
I mean, the season as a whole has been disappointing at times, but then it's been a lot of good times. But I mean, we just got to look forward and hopefully learn from everything.
Well, it's certainly been a roller coaster ride, hasn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the 2 seniors now, Quintrell Thomas and Justin Hawkins, as they get set for the California Golden Bears. And how about the 2 freshmen, Anthony Bennett and Caton Reinhardt? When we come back, we'll get a taste of those guys and what they did in the Mountain West tournament. We're coming back after this.
Bennett. Williams blocked. Bennett, here come the Rebels. Reinhardt. Twice around and down. Dave Rice wants the Rebels to run. Bennett again. Kidding me. How about it? Off the turnover, Reinhardt wants another three. Good!
Only right there, Reinhardt has it, the freshman. Oh, to Bennett, who drops a sledgehammer. At 3, 2, switch on D, Reinhardt for 3. Wow! Right before halftime, he puts in the triple and brings the Rebels to within 2.
All right, and we are back, and guess who we're back with? We're back with the two freshmen, two guys who made the all-tournament team. Here is Anthony Bennett and Caden Reinhardt. Appreciate you guys being here, joining us live on Channel 8. Let me just ask you a little bit about that tournament. How exciting was that for you guys, your first big taste of Mountain West play?
Being a freshman, it was real fun, the tournament was out here in Vegas, but of course, as you can see, there was a lot more other fans, but, it was just a real good experience.
And how was that, knowing that it's like a one-and-done type of deal? You got to beat Air Force, you got to beat Colorado State, you're going to the title game against New Mexico.
I mean, it was pretty cool. We, just playing back-to-back is just like basically AAU. So I kind of got a feel for that in the summer already, but this is like a whole different, ball game.
Now it's like you say, when you look at these highlights right here, you're saying to yourself, man, we got to win this or we're done, we're eliminated. So it's one of those situations. You kind of step it up a little bit more.
You got to, you just got to go hard every chance you have. You just don't want to go home early.
Now let me ask you about the NCAA tournament. Now you look up there and you see UNLV is a 5, then all of a sudden you see Cal and you say, hey, we just played that team.
I mean, yeah, that doesn't usually happen, but I'm happy we have a chance to play them again. I'm happy that we're in the tournament, so just having another shot to make a run.
I was speaking with you a little bit earlier, and you were saying that, hey, the Rebels have a good chance to make some noise. You firmly believe that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
And why is that?
We have a great team, a lot of talented players, throughout the whole, roster. You just got to come together, and once we do that, we can go far.
Was it kind of sad knowing that that was your last game on the Thomas and Mack court, that you're moving on after the NCAA tournament?
It was kind of sad. We didn't really get the result that we wanted. I wanted to win that. I'm pretty sure everybody did, but things happen. We just got to move on and continue to get better.
All right. Well, good luck in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cal, the Golden Bears.
Thank you.
There he is. That's Anthony Bennett. Of course, now we visit with Caden Reinhardt. And Kate, let me just ask you, your first kind of experience of Mountain West tournament play.
I mean, it's a whole different level, even from the conference games. It's just a whole different level in terms of going out and winning. If you lose, you're done. So we just came out and played hard, and unfortunately, we lost in the championship game, but we're just trying to regroup.
You can tell, you mentioned you always wanted to come here. You wanted to come here to make a difference, to help, like Anthony, you wanted to help make this program, bring it back to what it used to be in the glory days. And you guys are on the right path, aren't you?
I think so. We have a big opportunity ahead of us in this NCAA tournament, and I believe that we can do a lot of damage. And we just got to go out and play hard and just regroup from the other day.
Now, what were your thoughts when you saw UNLV up there on the board, and also you saw Cal come up again?
Yeah, it's crazy. Usually they don't do rematches in the tournament, but when we saw that, we're just happy, to be in the tournament and have another opportunity to make some noise.
I think of that shot by Quintrell right at the last second that won the game for the Reds.
Yeah. No, that was crazy. It was a dogfight, and if you watch the last game, we know how hard it's going to be in the first round.
How about the respect the Mountain West got? You excited about that? I mean, all the 5 teams now.
It's great. It just shows, that this conference isn't a joke, and it's one to compete with, in the whole entire country. So it means a lot, definitely having 5 teams in the tournament.
All right, thanks for being here. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Caden Reinhardt and Anthony Bennett, we appreciate both of you guys for joining us now. And still ahead on UNLV Game Time, we're going to have one more visit with the coach. Talk about the Mountain West teams that got in. How about New Mexico, Colorado State, of course, San Diego State, and Boise State all got in. That's still coming up right here on UNLV Game Time. And welcome back to UNLV Game Time. We're talking about the NCAA tournament. UNLV is going dancing. They're going to take on the California Golden Bears. Joining me now is head coach Dave Rice. And Coach, I'm impressed because for the first time, 5 teams from the Mountain West and some high seeds, some impressive seeds.
Well, it's terrific, and we've talked about it for a number of years, the quality of play in the Mountain West Conference. There's great coaching, there are great teams. This year, certainly there are a lot of good seniors in this league, the venues, the altitude, all the factors, but teams that have played very tough non-conference schedules and have had success, and then to be recognized by the Tournament Selection Committee to get 5 teams out of 9 in the NCAA tournament, that's a big deal, and that will continue to go in the future.
And New Mexico was waiting for that high seed, and it finally came for them. I mean, they were sitting there waiting, and that's a nice seed for them.
Well, and they're well deserved. It's very well deserved. I mean, they're a team that won a very good conference outright, and then they won the conference tournament. And they have a terrific basketball team, and it's a team that has grown. It's a team that started as freshmen that went to the NIT, and now those guys are all juniors. And they're a terrific basketball team, and they'll certainly represent our conference well, as will San Diego State, Colorado State, and Boise.
Now, Colorado State, of course, we knew they were getting in. We knew that San Diego State was going to get in. You can see Colorado State there as an 8 seed. San Diego State was also impressive. They were a 9 seed. But then how about Boise State, as you see right here, San Diego State. But let's move ahead to Boise State, because that was like they were on the bubble. They were the one that, hey, are they going to get in or they're not going to get in? And they got in.
Well, those of us who played Boise State understand how hard they are to guard, what a good program they have, and they went from last year being a team that would continue to get it better, and we knew they would take a big jump this year, and they had a terrific basketball season. They'll represent our conference extremely well. And relevant, too, you talked about San Diego State, that San Diego State actually is playing Oklahoma, and so there's the Coach Kruger factor there, and Coach Kruger did a terrific job this year at Oklahoma. He's the first coach in the history of college basketball to get 5 teams, 5 different programs into the NCAA tournament.
Well, that's impressive, but what's impressive for all the Rebel fans is that UNLV is once again in about 15 seconds, Coach, going dancing.
Yeah, we're excited about it. A lot of hard work this season, a lot of basketball still to play, but we understand the tremendous challenge of playing against a terrific Cal Bear team.
All right. Well, for head coach Dave Rice, I'm Chris Matthews. It's been a terrific season, a roller coaster ride. Certainly fans are excited because the roller coaster ride continues through the weekend. We're out of time all season long for the entire Game Time crew. For head coach Dave Rice, I'm Chris Matthews. Game Time returns this September, but the Runnin' Rebels return to action this week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Here are a few sights and sounds of UNLV, the Runnin' Rebels in 2013. Good night, everybody.